I haven't even thought of an intro for this video. It's not that serious. I make it sound like it's really bad, but it's really not. I kind of just wanted to talk about AI and my opinion on it. And you can take it or leave it, and that's okay. I'm going to talk about that while fishing because I like fishing, and it's warm here in North Carolina. It's pretty warm today, but it's really beautiful, and I kind of wanted to fish. So the pond is pretty covered with algae right now. It's a lot more than I would prefer. There's a clear spot on the other side, which I'm excited about, but in my experience, there's just a lot more fish over here because I think this is near the dam and it's a little deeper. So we're gonna see if we can, I'm running, I don't know how well you can see that. Ooh. Running a little Texas rig without the weight because of all the plants. We'll see how it goes. It's also worth noting there are a lot of turtles in this water. Oh my goodness. That was a bite, but these fish are little, okay? So don't get too excited. So here's the thing, right? I am making a video game right now. And I'm not a professional video game maker. I've done that as a hobby. That's actually how I got into my current field, which is software development. When I was really little, me and my brother, we used to make video games together. And I'd play those video games with my other brothers, and it was really good. I have a lot of positive memories. And now I don't make video games for a living, I don't make money off of it, but I do it for fun as a hobby. And it's been a few years. I made some when I was in university. I made some games when I was going to college, and that was fun. And I graduated in 2021. And it's been a few years since then, and one of the big things that's popped up is AI. Agentic AI. You can now prompt ChatGPT or something and tell it, hey, make me a video game, among other things. That was pretty bad. So this year I decided, I think I want to make another video game. I'm better at programming than I used to be. Maybe I'm marginally better at art. I don't feel like I've ever been very good at art. But I'm certainly a better programmer than I used to be, and I think I understand video games better. I've played more of them. I think I have a better grasp on what makes them fun. So I'm going to make a video game in my spare time. This is great. I start making this video game, and there we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So I start making this video game, and people keep asking me a question. There's an assumption behind how people talk to me about this video game that I want to make. The assumption is that I'm using AI. There's your spoiler. And it comes out in questions like when I say, I'm trying to make the art myself. The question is not, oh cool, how are you going to do that? Are you going to draw it somehow, or are you doing some digital painting? What are you learning to do this? Instead of asking me how I'm going to make it, I'm asked, how are you prompting AI to make this? The question I get is more like, how do you decide your art style? Is it how you prompt the AI? This assumption being that I'm going to use AI to make the art. I'm not totally above that either. It's probably worth saying I'm not good at making AI, and it would help me a lot. It would it would be very helpful. It would make the process go quicker, and it's possible the end result would be better, at least in terms of quality, if I used AI a whole lot. That's very possible. I asked other people. Oh, hold on. I talked to other people about it. I mentioned to other people that I'm making a video game, and they ask me similar questions. What AI are you going to use? Are you using AI to program everything? Or how are you going to prompt it? There's just kind of an assumption that everyone has that I'm using AI, which is not hurtful even. I think it's a fair assumption. And I think the intentions that these people have are not bad for me or anything. Oh my goodness. That was horrible. Wish AI could help me fish. Frick. You'd think I've never fished before, but I promise I have. I promise I do this a lot. So yeah, not even bad intentions. A lot of these people are my friends, people that I love. But there's just a kind of a running assumption that doing this kind of stuff means asking AI to do this kind of stuff. And it's got me thinking. It's got me thinking about a lot of things. I mentioned earlier, I'm in software development. AI is a big thing there now. I use that a lot for my job. There are other people who almost exclusively program with AI. They do nothing apart from it. So I've started to think, do I want to use AI for stuff? Do I want to use it at my work? And do I want to use it for my hobbies? Move to a new spot. I feel good about this one. I really do. I mean, there are fish biting, but I think they might be too small. Unfortunate. So it becomes evident to me that I will be using AI at work. It also becomes evident to me that AI could be really useful for my hobbies. And people are asking me, they're assuming that I'm using AI for both. So the question is posed in my mind for the first time, do I want to use AI for my hobbies? I hadn't really thought about that before. I had thought about it in terms of work, of course. It affects my work a lot, and work is important. I want to be able to work, and I want to be able to do that well in a way that glorifies God and honors the people I work for. But I had never thought, what about for my hobbies? What about for making games? So I started thinking about this question. Do I want to use AI to make a game? And of course, that brings a lot of, that's a big question. It may be bigger than it appears at first. What are hobbies even for? Why do I do hobbies? The conclusion I eventually came to was that I do hobbies not just because I enjoy the process, and not just because I enjoy the outcome, because I enjoy that too. For fishing, I don't just fish because I like to say that I can catch fish. For making games, I don't like making games simply because I have a game at the end of it. I also enjoy the process and the decision making. And another thing I've started to think about is I like the kind of person that these things make me. I think basically how you spend your time is important. And your hobbies can really change who you are, right? I think fishing helps me become more patient. It helps me become a little bit more peaceful because it allows me to be outside, and it can also be social. I enjoy spending time with my friends while fishing. I think for game making, I've thought about those things as well. Like, I like that it's creative. I like that during the process I have to make decisions about characters, like who maybe characters will be if there's a story in the game. I like that I get to solve the problems that programming introduces. I like that. I like the kind of person that this hobby makes me. And I think that AI kind of circumvents that. If you need the friction, if you will, if you need the struggle to learn things, AI in a lot of ways circumvents that friction, which sometimes is great. When I'm at work, I love that, man. Like, I would love to get more stuff done. And AI is really good at that. But some things I think are not about being a to-do list necessarily. Come on. I think there are lots of little tiny fish in this pond. Because they keep biting. But they're not biting hard. So I come to the conclusion that for myself and for my hobby project of creating a game in 2026, that I don't want to use AI. I don't want to use it to create art assets or to write my code for me. I don't want to use it to design the game or make decisions about really any of it, I think. And that makes it a lot harder. I don't know if you've tried doing something with and without AI, but it's a lot harder without it. So my game might be worse, but I think that I'll be better. And I don't know, I don't mean that as in like I'm going to be better than somebody who does use AI, but I mean that as in I think the process of working through it myself will change me in a way that I want. It'll help make me the kind of person that I want to be. It's good to create. And it's hard to create when you let AI take the wheel. So I decide I want to make this game by myself. I want it to be handmade, if you will. But of course, I didn't stop there. I think that kind of leads me to my final point, my final idea, if you will. I like fishing. I need to do this more often. Fish? No, not a fish. There you go. AI could never catch leaves as good as I can. Tell you that right now. Okay, well. Yeah, so I decided for myself, I don't really want to use AI for my hobbies. You know, for my job, I don't really know that it matters too much. My boss is okay with it, right? But for myself, I think I want the benefit of trying to be creative on my own and trying to build that creative muscle and the decision-making muscle and all this. But that led to like another idea, which is like in a world where theoretically AI could do what you're doing faster or better maybe, what's the point of being creative? I started kind of thinking about that in like an existential way myself. Here's an important part of this story. I am a Christian. I believe that God created the world, He created people, and He created people in His image. So a big part of this is that I think it's a God-glorifying thing to be creative. Like, you're showing off God's character, His image, by being creative. That's something that we can do that other parts of creation can't do because of God's image on us. So as you're creative, you show off that part of God's character, which is really cool. But even if you're not a Christian, I think you can still see the value of like what being creative and doing creative things and creating. I think you can still see the value of what that does to you and what that does for you. It's still valuable. Even if a computer could do it or do it better, I think it's... Oh, hold on. I thought I was going to get a fish there. I'm telling you, these fish are really low commitment. It's the fish's fault, not mine. Basically, I think that handmade things, video games, YouTube videos, photos, songs, name something, right? Handmade things have value. I think maybe they have more extrinsic value when they are really well made and beautiful and all these things, but sometimes, even if they're not, there's still something valuable to it. If nothing else, I think that you fulfill God's creation mandate by doing it. AI doesn't have to be the enemy, you know? Like, it doesn't have to be the end all. If you use AI, how dare you, you're not creative, and what you make doesn't count for anything. But I would encourage people to not shy away from the hard decisions and the work and the discipline that it takes to create something. Just because there's an easier way that allows you to get around it doesn't mean that's actually the best way for you to go. I think that creating changes you in a really good way. Doesn't have to be video games. Could be something else. But I think there is something beautiful and valuable about us as people being people, and the things that we make being made by people. I think it glorifies God, and I think it's valuable to other people as well. And it's valuable to you. Yeah, you. You behind the phone screen, or the TV, or the whatever. Maybe you should go out and be creative, you know? Hey! Look at that. Family is eating tonight. That's what my dad would call a seaweed monster. And I would call a failure. Okay. This is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. It's just B-roll.